Welcome to Ponies by Candlelight. If you love My Little Pony, ASMR, vintage toys, or taking long bubble baths, this is a space for you. And if you don't like any of the above, perhaps you will soon. Tonight, for this inaugural long-form YouTube video, I'd like to talk a little about the candy-coloured pony you see before you, and through her, my own experience as a collector of first-generation ponies. Glimmering in the flames this evening, we have Fizzy, a twinkle eye released in Year 4 or 1985. And coming to you from behind the microphone, my name is Alex, and I was released in Year 7 or 1988. To me, Fizzy represents the quintessential first-generation pony. Four-toned mane and tail, a symbol good enough to eat, and her rhinestone eyes that somehow always seem to glint knowingly. Though I never owned her in childhood, she featured so often in the My Little Pony cartoons that she was as familiar to me as if I had. To backtrack ever so slightly, growing up with an older sister, I was lucky enough to inherit an entire herd of ponies before I'd even mastered any motor skills. And while my sister liked her ponies well enough, for me it was love at first sight. I would spend hours setting up intricate arrangements of ponies and accessories, dressing them up in pony wear. My favorites were the Sweet Dreams pajamas and the Flash Prance workout set, though I was forever losing shoes and clip-clopping them up furniture and down staircases. For my 3rd birthday, I was gifted the Home Sweet Home, a pink variant of the show stable playset that was my prized possession. Everywhere I went, the Home Sweet Home would accompany me, packed to the rafters with my favorite ponies. I can remember every pony I ever had, as well as the ponies other people I knew owned. For instance, when I close my eyes, I can see so clearly the sweet stuff who sat on a friend of the family's bedroom shelf, and I can feel my longing for a twinkle eye of my very own. In My Little Pony and Friends, these ponies' eyes were drawn like the faceted gems of their real-life figurines, which set them apart from the other inhabitants of Dream Valley. Not for nothing were the cartoons of the 80s critiqued for acting as blaring vehicles of consumerism. Their intent was, in part, to sell toys to children, and they were very successful. I wanted every new pony I saw on my television, but I didn't always get them. As a unicorn, Fizzy had innate magical abilities. Befitting her name and her somewhat, let's just say, giggly personality, she could use water or air to create huge, near-indestructible bubbles. Maybe because she came out before I was born, I never encountered her in a store. Although back then, especially in Australia where I grew up, things were slower and release dates had less meaning. Your local toy store might have retained stock from years ago. When I started collecting again later in life, the very first pony I bought in a lot off eBay was obviously Fizzy. My favorite color scheme is pink and green, and there was something so appealing about gifting myself something I had long wanted but never received. I think this is a feeling many collectors understand. You really do feel as though you are helping to heal your inner child when you get your hands on a toy that loomed so large in your heart at a young age. One episode of My Little Pony and Friends that featured Fizzy prominently was The Magic Coins, a doozy of a 4-parter that was on a compilation VHS that I borrowed from my neighborhood civic video practically once a week. In this episode, The Ponies and their human friends Megan, Molly, and Danny discover a treasure chest full of coins that can grant wishes. It's a cautionary tale that ultimately champions friendship over material goods, and Fizzy and her magic play an important role. Though I haven't watched it from start to finish in decades, I can still bring up the memory of a few key scenes. In one of them, the gang struggles to retrieve a ruby from the center of an active volcano. Fizzy creates a bubble from the lava, and Megan and Wind Whistler fly up and snatch the stone as it floats into the air. I don't know why this sequence has stuck with me after all these years, but then again, it's funny what a few cartoon sparkles can do to an impressionable young mind. Do you have a toy or a cartoon that has stuck with you from childhood? I love to hear about these things, and hopefully you do too. Let me know in the comments below your favorite nostalgic reminiscences. In the meanwhile, Fizzy and I will just keep zenning out in the twilight. Till next time.